If there's one place that thrives in a depression, it's a boxing gym. With youth unemployment at 50%, many of these young men from the dockside area of Valencia have no job and no chance of a job. The owner of the gym, a professional boxer, trains many of them for free.
I
try to keep them from the streets. I'd rather have them here than outside mugging people or taking drugs. Here they have a sporting and healthy atmosphere. They have discipline and routine.
But Cento is no ordinary boxer. He's also a member of a far-right party that aims, as Golden Dawn's done in Greece, to make a political breakthrough. The party is called España 2000, and it's recruiting 30 or 40 new members a week. Like many far-right groups, it's growing because people have lost hope in mainstream politics.
We have to serve the people, those who suffer hunger, those that need help.
You would like a revolution? But not from the left? He told me he wants a revolution from the right, and that his hero is the Nazi leader Rudolf Hess, and that he's a National Socialist. And for him the word revolution means just that.
The revolution will come when there is no bread left. Then we will see shootings and everything.
Of all the countries facing economic crisis, Spain is facing the worst and probably the longest. There'll be mass unemployment here for a decade. But this is the one country that has never really addressed what happened in the past, in the 30s, in the 50s, under Franco's dictatorship. Now, the problem is, if you're going to try and relive the 30s with mass unemployment, mass radicalisation, rubber bullets on the streets, you're going to want to know what actually happened. The problem for many Spanish people is they have no idea. There's no official memorial, there's no official account, and there is certainly no official reckoning with what happened.
No.
There's no memory, there's no memorial.
No. This is hidden.
In scrubland, on the outskirts of Valencia, Matias Alonso takes me to a place where 2,300 people were shot in mass executions by the fascist dictatorship after the civil war had ended. It's just in the middle of nowhere. There is no memorial.
No memorial, no official treatment, no official honours.
And yet the bullet holes are clear. In 1977, after the death of General Franco, Spain passed an amnesty law preventing the investigation of crimes committed under the dictatorship. In Spain, there was no denazification, and now, as things get worse economically, this big act of forgetting, say some, could have consequences.
Esto nos enseña un gran peligro.
There is a big danger. When there are people in the government who have not distanced themselves from Franco, how do you know, when the crisis hits, that they won't take off their suits and reveal fascist uniforms underneath?
For now, the far right remains at the edges of mainstream politics, but the edges are getting sharp. Last year, in the industrial town of Onda near Valencia, España 2000 held a torchlit march demanding the closure of a local mosque. In their own video, one banner says more jobs, less immigrants. Another's message is clear. The police had to blockade the street to prevent demonstrators from reaching the mosque.
One day was praying here in the night time.
So people were praying?
Yeah.
In September 2012, the same mosque was firebombed. Somebody poured lighter fuel under the front door and set it alight.
And we find here the gasoline right here. And was the fire. And
the front was badly damaged and needed extensive repair work. Mohammed Esham teaches children here. He says it was only the absence of carpet that prevented the fire from spreading. And the children you teach, how did they respond to the event that happened?
They didn't like it. You can't accept this one. This is the job of crazy people.
Does that make people here frightened? Are you scared of that?
Yes,
España 2000 denies any involvement in the attack. The police are investigating but have not so far made an arrest. Spain's economy has shrunk by 1.4% in 2012. It'll do the same again in 2013. But as 1 year of recession spills into the next, it is still surprising to find, openly, on the corner of an ordinary street, an organisation that is preparing for civil war. Buenos días. Yo me llamo Paul.
Buenos días, José Luis.
Thank you.
Aquí tienes tu casa y te vamos a enseñar lo que es. Paso yo delante.
Okay. This is the leader of España 2000, José Luis Roberto. This is the party's community centre.
Despacho de aquí de la...
No es sofisticado.
No, es pobre.
Libros políticos.
Hay libros políticos, sí.
He's a lawyer. He also owns a network of boxing gyms, and he's the main man in the city's private security industry. Ah!
Aquel, Franco, sí.
It's Franco. His involvement with the far right goes back to the Franco years. It's a little card with Franco on a horse. El Caudillo.
Caudillo.
The leader.
Sí.
The whole setup is very similar to Golden Dawn in Greece. While attacking immigration, Europe and liberal social policies, they distribute food, advice and shelter to the victims of the slump. This man says he came here because he was made homeless by the crisis, but now he shares the party's views. It's a case of politics plus paella. The party wants to slim down regional governments, it wants import controls and Spanish-born people to have priority in social services over migrants. It's building a small base in local councils in areas where immigration is a key issue. After your march against the mosque was bombed. Do you regret that that happened?
Nosotros desde luego estamos en contra de que se queme la mezquita.
We are of course against the burning of the mosque. But if someone, whether they are a party member or someone from the neighbourhood, privately does that, we are not responsible.
Pues no somos responsables.
I didn't say you were responsible, I just asked you, do you regret the fact that somebody firebombed the mosque?
No es un problema nuestro porque vamos a coger vela en ese
We don't speak for others. It's not our business. The person who did it must regret it. It would be absurd for someone who didn't do it to regret it.
I asked him, with Spain's history of fascism, wasn't the party playing with fire?
Pues mira, jugar con fuego.
Playing with fire.
Tú ves cómo está la gente aquí. Sal a la calle.
Look around you. People are leaping from their balconies. They can't feed their children. Young people have no future. And you say playing with fire. With the way politicians are behaving, we could easily end up with social revolt.
En una revuelta social.
And how far do you think you are away from that moment?
Y utilizaremos los medios democráticos.
We will use all democratic ways. But if the situation becomes extreme, it will be necessary to take to the streets and use force. When people are leaping from their balconies, you can't ask them to wait for elections.
It's a clear statement of intent. This is a party which, in the classic far-right mould, intends to deploy force on the streets. For now, though, it's knives and forks around the table. The free food brings activists like the boxer Sente and those who've just come for the paella. So far, even despite a year and a bit of massive protest, the institutions in Spain have held together. But if they don't hold together, it's very clear there are people ready to step in and do what the right in Spain has done before. At a cemetery in Valencia are the mass graves of the victims of the fascist years. 53 bodies lie beneath just this gravestone. Their faces and how they died added only after Franco had gone. As the economic crisis deepens across Europe, old wounds are reopening. Spain, for all its determination to forget, is no different.